I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Kidnapping, illegal immigrants, and private jets. What the hell is going on? Well, it seems that Ron DeSaster, the governor of Florida, really hates immigrants, even though Florida had 2.6 million Latino immigrants in 2021. Also, Latino immigrants build businesses and bring in over $7 billion to Florida annually, and Florida residents in immigrant-led households had $98 billion in spending power in Florida in 2018. So yeah, let's get rid of all that money and hard work. We've already pissed off Disney and called the people that invented Donald Duck groomers. This dude really is a disaster. Here's how desperate Sucky D is for attention. He didn't even send Florida immigrants to California. He had the plane stop in Texas and pick up Texas immigrants. It's like a racist airborne Uber. I guess he realized that he couldn't take his own state's immigrants because they were making and spending so much damn money in Florida. It's the only thing that creates that one thin membrane that stopped Florida from becoming the meth-addicted elderly zombie hellhole we all know and love. Why does Florida always smell like someone left a pile of wet dog towels in a cabbage's ass? Which is also a Ron DeSantis policy. Do you guys remember when politicians had ideas instead of stunts, when they passed policies to fix infrastructure or bring jobs back to America, or got everyone vaccinated to stop a pandemic, or cut the deficit by $1.8 trillion? Oh, right. We have that guy right now. This guy, however, keeps screaming about freedom while he's banned books, limited voting rights, gone after gay people, trans people, and stopped the teaching of American history. You know, freedom! DeSantis is such a punk, he couldn't even send Florida immigrants to California. He picked up Texas immigrants, flew them by private plane to Sacramento. Just another stunt by a dude who doesn't have an idea in his head. When did we start to think that hate is policy and what we wanted in a leader? When did we think division and ignorance was policy and what we wanted in a leader? Here's Ron trying to put on a mask at the beginning of COVID. Wow, should he be in charge? You know why California pays more in federal tax than any state? Do you know why we send more money to the hot, sweaty, shoeless, sister-screwing states? Because we have ideas. California invents the future, and we do it with great weather and, granted, a lot of fire. Look, every state has its problems. Homelessness, fire, too many rules, not enough gun laws. But those problems come from the leadership. California has a $100 billion surplus this year. Florida has a guy that can't handle Mickey Mouse. I'm going to turn this over to Gavin. Gavin?
Small and pathetic. Very generous. He's just weakness masquerading as strength. He's flailing, desperate for attention. Here's a governor from the state of Florida using taxpayer money, and he had to go to another state to find people under false pretense, lying to them that they had help on the other side, knocked on the door, and they left these migrants right there on the steps. What kind of human being does that?
I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. God, I love Gavin Newsom. You know what? Whether he's great or not, man, he just doesn't. You know, he's like good-looking Christie. He's got things. That's good as hell. He's like so patient. So what do you think about Ron DeSantis? This guy's fucking hot. What are you talking about? This guy. 3, 2, meh. Hi, everybody. Christopher Titus Podcast. With me, as always, the grumpy and sighing Bombshell Ray.
I'm not grumpy. What's up, people?
And the amazing, always happy Highlander.
I'm always the third wheel in here in the arguments.
You're not always
Mom and Dad,
happy.
stop fighting, Mom. Mom and Dad.
You're not always
You guys stop
happy.
fighting. You guys are always fighting.
There really was third wheel.
I'd be happy if you guys were broken up. I remember saying that to my dad. When
You said that? Really?
You did?
One of his third or fourth
Wow.
wives. I remember going, it'd be better if you guys just broken. Oh, Nancy, I said it. Because he kept moving. He had Dave's mom. He kept moving her back. They'd get in a huge fight. She'd move out. Then 2 months later, she'd move back in. And I didn't mind that, except I was doing all the moving. I was like 14, 15, 16 at the time. And I was moving.
Okay. I was going to say, that's pretty gutsy.
I was moving furniture and shit. The third time, I was like, I'm not. I said, I'm not moving this furniture for the third time. And man, it was like, you want to talk about binding them together forever? You hate it. And I was like, I'm 16. And with me and my dad
You
duking
sound
it.
like you were an asshole.
Oh, dude, I was raised by assholes.
Right.
That's all I knew.
According to your 23andMe. Come on. You have a joke kind of like that in your new show.
It's weird. You don't realize wisdom comes in later in life where you start to realize, wow, man, that was not the way to raise. You and I had the same thing. That's not the way to raise kids.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it like 6 or 7 with my dad. After like getting this, I don't want to talk. It's so weird because I'm like, it was punching and kicking.
And people go, oh, you were abused. No, it wasn't. That's just everybody got it. Yeah. No, not just in your house. Nobody. She had to explain to me for a year. You were abused. No, I wasn't.
Yeah. You did not like that at all.
It's funny. Remember the movie Breakfast Club? Remember Judd?
Yeah.
Hirsch. Not Judd Hirsch character. Not Judd Hirsch. He was not. Hello, I'm in Breakfast Club. No, Judd Nelson. Judd Nelson's character when he goes, "Smoke up, Johnny." Remember he goes, "My dad came with Christmas and gave me a carton of smokes. Smoke them up, Johnny." And I think of you when I see that movie because with a trash bag full of presents. You guys pick whatever fits you guys. Go ahead. I got it up. I did a dumpster dive at a Goodwill bin and I just grabbed some stuff. Hopefully.
On the way home from
Merry
the bar.
Christmas, assholes. My dad hated Christmas. We've talked about this before.
We have. Yeah. But I always enjoy hearing
Speaking of Christmas, it looks like Trump's getting indicted.
Yeah. We can only hope.
And the best don't get my hopes.
And the best they got is DeSantis, which I just destroyed on the I got to be honest with you, man. Gavin Newsom, thank you for just having the guts to just say what is.
Yeah.
What's great about Gavin Newsom knows in 2028 we're going to deal with candidate Gavin Newsom for president. I don't know. He's so left. I don't know if that's going to work.
Yeah, but we the Democrats, liberals need a
mouthy,
a pit bull fighting, who's just going to take the gloves off.
Look at all the rights that he's
protected,
codified in California. Look at the first surplus of this kind in forever. We were in so much debt before.
98 billion surplus in California.
So much money that he mailed checks out to people to just give them money.
You get money.
Yeah.
And we were in a drought and now we're not.
Yep.
Well, I don't know that he did that, but okay.
But he had a dinner without a mask on and his hair slicked back and he's just a slick politician. Okay.
No, this is the problem. That went away because then they tried to recall him and he flew through that. It was embarrassing.
I forgot who tried to recall him. I forgot that.
Remember the guy that ran against him, and he even started saying fake election crap, and people were like, "Dude, not in California. Bye bye."
I forgot about that. They tried.
It went away.
Was it the restaurant thing? They tried because he wasn't wearing a mask. But here's where liberals, I lose my fucking mind. Okay. California was obviously pretty strict about masks and stuff. Gavin Newsom did go to, I guess it was his own restaurant, right? His own restaurant with wine.
He went out to dinner and
didn't wear a mask and didn't do what he told everybody else to do. Okay, and I guess I would feel the same way. That pisses me off, dude. Wear the mask.
Yeah, but meanwhile, the right, their guys telling everybody to fucking use a powerful light and bleach and to not follow any science.
Powerful light. Maybe we can do a cleaning. In your lungs, I've heard that cleaning. There's tiny elves that you can swallow, and they will go down your windpipe to clean your lungs out. Because there's like a cleaning. I love to watch Deborah Birx lose her mind as he continues to say the craziest shit we've ever heard. Is still brilliant to me. About Trump running. So yesterday we saw video of Jack Smith.
There's video of him?
Dude walking.
What?
But we're not sure it's him because he didn't say a word.
Never spoke, never even visually acknowledged the reporter.
NBC reporters walking, go
straight gangster.
And you could hear
somebody got his dog.
No, by the way, that's the word I'll use, gangster, because at one point you can hear the reporter get really nervous.
He's starstruck.
He's like, "Hey, by the way, do you think Mr. Trump's going to get indicted?" Smith just keeps walking.
Boom, boom.
Not a word. Doesn't look.
Subway
his head.
Sandwich in hand.
Doesn't turn his head. So, by the way, double meat from I gather. So do you?
Is that a dirty joke?
No, just double meat. That's a good sandwich. That's a man sandwich at Subway.
That's also on.
Because many
run with it.
And whatever that greasy, sweaty stuff that Subway puts on in its meat.
Cold cut combo.
And so he keeps. What has happened today?
That's the indictment. Title of the indictment.
Such a bizarre cold cut combo. this? What? What's going on?
I don't know.
So Jack Smith keeps walking, and the guy goes, and you're sorry. He's very specific. Do you think Mr. Trump's getting indicted? Walks in. So do you think there's any chance that you're going to announce when the indictment is going to keep walking? Okay, thank you. Like you can just see the guy coming apart. And what even on video, the presence was like, this guy is not playing. And then Mark Meadows today, Trump's right-hand guy, it was announced. It was, we're not sure if it's pure yet. It's probably on the news. We're talking about it on the way over. Mark Meadows has accepted that he's going to be charged with lesser crimes for his testimony against
the old Flipperooski.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mark Meadows went away. Very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hear from him.
Disappeared. He went away. He went away like that.
Into
Russian,
the meadow.
Remember
so
that Russian spy?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that Russian spy that went away?
Tina?
And Ghislaine Maxwell? They just dropped off the face of the earth.
Well, she's in prison.
Right. She's in prison, but there's a lot going on.
Hard to do pressers.
They're keeping it real quiet about Epstein. She knows who all the Epstein people are. There was another case actually trying to get released the list.
Everyone wants to keep that quiet.
Yeah, right.
So he went away. And during that time, we now know that he's testified at least twice to Jack Smith's grand jury. He's testifying on January 6th and the documents. And he would be the guy, especially January 6th, but also the documents because he was there during the transition that Trump resisted for so long. But January 6th, he was sitting with him during it.
It's crazy to think that a former president has all the an array, a variety of different criminal cases, plus rape.
It's a lot, and rape and child rape. That went away before the election. If you just went down, Bill Clinton's probably like, man, I'll tell you, man, it ain't as bad. I had a couple things. Sure, I'm shady, but this guy, man,
it's crazy to think
I look like Gandhi.
That when we were in Scotland, that the cab driver said to us, I just think that him having gone bankrupt, filing for bankruptcy should exclude him from running for president. What do you think they're thinking now? If that's what bothered you?
And he wants to run again, and we could have another president.
Oh, and people are backing him. I think that's the craziest part.
Speaking of Scotland, do you know when your house is so you've been living a certain way, and then you don't think about it, and then someone shows up and you see it through their eyes?
Out of
When we were in Scotland, they would just be like, so you're American? Well, let me tell you something. What the hell? Yeah, Donald Trump. He's crazy. He's and they were just every car we got into, every restaurant we went to, people go, what the fuck's with Donald Trump? They didn't stop.
And then you're almost
and we started going, when the guy said the bankruptcy thing, I remember thinking, why would we even allow that? Should be a law.
Like an abused child. You realize,
and they keep saying, even the guys on CNN keep saying, "Oh, he's still his front runner." Is that the best you got? Is he really the front runner? Good for you.
Do you remember when I told you? So remember the recording that came out last week, because it has been a drip, drip, drip. Get used to Trump being indicted. Drip, drip every day. A new thing. Yeah. Last week we found, or 2 days ago we found out about Meadows. Today we found out that he flipped.
That Meadows has flipped.
It's like just a drip every day to get people used to the idea
Trump's
slowly that he's going to be indicted and arrested.
And then I believe that Chris Christie's part of it.
And I said to you, I bet you that recording that came out last week, that was one of the drips where he's saying, I'm holding this Iran document that's top secret classified.
This is our war plan for Iraq.
I'm not allowed to have it.
We're going to attack Iraq. I'm not supposed to have it. It's classified.
I'm not allowed to talk about it.
I'm not supposed to show you guys either, but
So, and I said, I bet that came from Meadows. Meadows has just gone away. Who else would have? Well, today, the New York Times said that they are guessing two people that assisted Meadows in writing his memoir. They're saying that they believe that he gave that audio recording to the special counsel. So you have to wonder. So we were talking a couple of weeks ago about him being indicted on all this stuff. And I said, if it's happening, it's going to be a drip every day, just a slow bleed. And
they have to.
And that information could only come from the special counsel's office, because who else would have all of this inside information on this investigation, including this audio recording? So he is intentionally, somebody in his office is responsible. Just take this.
It's like getting into super cold water. You got to put your toe in first, and they're just letting all the Trumpers into getting them used to super hot water. Yeah, getting it really slowly. Got to get in slow.
But I don't think we're any better off with DeSantis and the other mini Trumps.
No, he's way worse.
But what's coming out though is DeSantis is actually, which is weird. He may be more educated than Trump, but he's just as dumb as and I can't believe I'm saying this, and not as charismatic. He's kind of a goofball.
He's not good with people.
No, he's not
at all. But he's very intelligent.
I have to say, did we talk about this? I saw something that was so over the top wrong about Trump. Remember how he would dance on when he'd do rallies? He would just go.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Did you see the thing I'm talking about?
Yep.
Some guy said, if you can't not see it if I say it, you want to. Okay.
He's jerking off.
Two guys. It looks like
he's doing the shake weight thing.
And I was like, "Oh my god, no!"
He does that dance so proudly too.
Yeah.
I wish you could do your ex's dance because it reminds me of that. It's the worst dance, but so cocky about doing that dance.
That's all he can move because he's like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Like none of the rest of him can move.
Christie has lost his damn mind. Chris Christie, who backed up Trump 100%, who got out of the race first last time, was totally up Trump's butt. Then was he was on the cabinet, wasn't he? And then he got fired.
He was on the transition
team. That's right. He was running the transition.
All he got for that was COVID that put him in the emergency room, intensive care for like 2 weeks. He almost died.
And he got fired because he's the one who put Kushner's dad in jail.
He said that Kushner directly
didn't
fired him because Christie prosecuted Kushner's father and put him in prison. So I would guess there's a little tension there.
Think so? How's your dad, asshole? Hey, can you fire this guy?
Mike Pence also testified for 5 hours before that grand jury.
Right.
They've also shifted their focus to the donations to the fake fund, Stop the Steal fund that didn't exist. Also, it came out, another drip this week was that 20 plus of Trump's Secret Service agents have now testified to Jack Smith in the grand jury.
They're also letting a bunch of creepy stuff out too. Like, so they wanted video. There's gaps in the video at Mar-a-Lago. There's all these gaps in the video.
Oh yeah.
So they said that
flood thing.
Yeah. Well, then they found out that years ago, before Trump ever ran for president, there was a tax case they wanted documents from. And guess what happened? You know what happened when we went to get the documents? The pool and flooded that room.
No shit.
Same room?
It flooded the
same
Trump?
room.
Same timing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys don't know what we're talking about,
what are the odds of that happening?
Jack Smith subpoenaed
this pool guy,
the video surveillance records where the room was that the documents were kept. And there were gaps. So he sent a second subpoena. For the video, he wanted outside the room as well, and gaps. During this time, Trump's valet, handyman, helper guy.
Pool guy.
He's my pool guy. He's very good.
He's
very good.
I got the best.
He knows when to flood, when not to flood.
He goes to the IT guy, who has now testified, and starts asking, how long does footage last? Can it be erased? What might cause it to be erased? They're the worst criminals, you said yesterday.
If something would...
if chlorine got into the fire.
Step aside. Everybody walk.
Exactly. So, we're on the same wavelength today, which is not
really.
always a good thing. Cold cod combo. So then after talking to that guy during the second subpoena, he drains the pool and it floods that one room. So then there was a third subpoena and they were like, it all got erased. We don't have any of it anymore.
The water didn't erase it.
That's their Watergate.
Literally, it's a literal Watergate. They don't have, I guess they got it. But they're the shittiest criminals. Because Trump has never been really busted for anything. He's not. I mean, his first case. He was like in his 20s, and they had a big giant apartment building. Him and his dad, and they were indicted for basically. It said on the form, POC, person of color. So on every application, none of the POCs ever got an apartment ever.
Yeah.
So they got indicted on that.
What are they? They just settled. All these cases, they just settle.
Yeah, when you have that kind of money, you just settle. And I think that's what he's bought himself out of trouble so often. I I don't. Are they going to appeal that $5 million he owes?
He
What's her
already
face?
is. E. Jean
Perfect.
Carroll.
He'll drag it out till she dies.
Yeah, that's what he does. But I think what she cares most about is that he was convicted of sexual battery or whatever.
And it's not going to look good on the appeal that he went on that next day on
God.
CNN.
But then she went after him again for that one.
But she doesn't. Here's the thing. Because it's already been, I've heard this, because it's already been a case and already been tried, all she has to do is go, he did it again, and the judge can order more money to be paid.
Yeah.
Mark Meadows' attorney, Terwilliger, told...
Are you kidding? Where does he get these guys?
I don't know. Whoop, whoop.
Hey, Terwilliger, come here.
He said that it's nothing more than bullshit, that Meadows took a plea deal. It was reported earlier today that Meadows provided grand jury testimony in exchange for limited immunity, which seems oddly specific. You know, like these things come out and then they always deny them and then they come up with the excuse.
And then all of a sudden, what happened to Mark Meadows? Oh, I don't know. There is no Mark Meadows on any record anywhere.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. And it's that movie with Steve Martin, My Blue Heaven, where he's just in the witness protection program. Because the problem with anybody, there's some crazy people. Like Trump doesn't have a whole. The psycho Trump people are not the kind of people that are like, I've changed my opinion of Trump because he committed crime.
Hold on. You've handed me facts. Let me think about this for a moment and adjust my opinion based on facts.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, you're not.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a Trump supporter.
Okay.
They're like, we got to get that guy. So
trans, gay,
trans, gay, books, history, boo,
furries. Now they're on furries.
Well, they
just pick it. Yeah, that's their latest thing.
They're what
on Fox News? Have you seen the latest thing?
No.
They're going after furries
haven't
now.
Heard anyone?
Like they're just trying to find like any. That's weird.
That's it. Yes. But by the way, all your friends, all your straight friends, if you knew what they did in the bedroom, you would be like, I don't want to know. That's why we don't talk about it. That's why we go to dinner and we make jokes and we talk about the weather and politics.
That's what I was on the way here. I was on the phone with who I call my brother, who's gay and living with a trans man. And he was like, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it. He goes, I don't want to hear about you and Christopher. And I was joking. I go, yeah, you do. And he goes, no, I really don't.
No.
He doesn't. He was like, I don't want trans people to talk about it. It's not because I'm anti-trans. Yeah. He said he lives with his trans boyfriend. He goes, it's that I'm anti-hearing about other people's sex lives. I don't want to hear it.
Just have your thing. You
just do your thing. You deal with your fluids. I don't need to hear about it.
And
I do not need to hear about
us
deal with your cold cut combo.
And you can. It's your cold cut combo and nobody else's.
Who amongst us has not wanted to be cradled by stuffed animal fuzz while we're having sex?
And have somebody go.
Okay.
This just in, Rachel is a furry.
I am not into anything animal.
Unless. Wait.
But I do enjoy
me dressed up as a tiger.
Fleece. I would enjoy that a lot.
But I'm just saying that, like, so that's the whole thing about it is like, why? It's funny. I tweeted something out. I tweet very rarely now, once a week, pretty much.
I saw you've been tweeting. I see because people tag me and go, "Does Ray Bradley know you're back on here?"
It's like they think on me to my
every
mom.
time.
Like they're telling me, by the way, Ray, you know he's tweeting again. All I said was, what kind of person is afraid of trans people, afraid of gay people? They think their beer is gay. Their beer is gay or trans now. They have to have a gun all the time because they're that scared. When I grew up, we called those people chicken shit. You're a chicken shit.
I saw you tweeted that. Yeah. I did. You're back to being a little controversial, a little combative on Twitter.
I am tired of our country, people making decisions in our country based on culture issues that have nothing to do with the country. Yeah, and America's a fucking business.
I will never vote with my wallet ever because I love that chicken. And I don't care. I don't care. I love that chicken. Right. I don't think about gay people or straight people. When you order Chick-fil-A, you're right. Or anti-trans when I eat that sweet, delicious sandwich with extra pickles.
Do you think there's a bunch of guys at the job site at the end of the day? Yeah, Bob, you drinking beer? Like, what do you think's going on? Like, what? Like,
it's like how Grandma wouldn't buy the cinnamon crunch bagels at Panera,
but wanted you to come and make them. Grandma wouldn't buy the Panera ones because they have an inclusive policy, which just is America. By the way, it's in the Constitution.
Oh,
inclusive.
I jumped on her and she was like, "Well, let's go get bagels."
Yeah,
Grandma was always like, "Well, somebody told me to do that, but okay."
And they can't come right out and say, well, some can, but they can't come out and say we don't like gay people, and not necessarily anymore. So now it's like, don't you get away from the children. You're grooming the children.
But that's throughout history. They've always done the protect the children or the women. It used to be protect the women. Now they've been caught raping too many of them.
Can I talk about that thing that I've been reading
Sure.
about lately? I'm not an expert on this. This is just something I've recently been looking into, and I sent it to my brother Jeffrey. But my pastor friend, pastor of Bel Air Presbyterian, mentioned this, and so I started reading about it. The original Greek word in the two places in the Bible that homosexuality is mentioned, the original Greek word is arsenokoitai, which means boy molester.
It's not gay.
Which in other translations was child molester. It wasn't until like the late 1940s that it was
Germany,
changed.
80,
I'm the one that told you this and sent you the article. I haven't
I
gotten
read
to
the
that
article
yet.
too.
In the United States.
I'm sorry.
In the United States in the late 40s. And then in like 83 in Germany, the word was changed to gay or homosexual. But if you trace that back, it was a United States missionary group that funded that translation of the Bible.
Right. And they changed. So people in the hardcore Christians changed child molester to homosexual.
Man, if a man lies down with a boy. Then
that's the original translation of the Bible. And the funny thing is that you're being a heathen liberal. Wait, first of all, you go to church? Are you kidding?
I do.
How is that possible?
I put shoes on and walk in.
Okay, but I'm just saying, everybody they're like these. And so when you look at the history of it, why would they do that? Why? Well, because who seems to be the serial boy molesters of the world? Seems to be priests.
There's an awful lot of that.
There's an awful lot of priests. So maybe we should, hey guys, just in the book, it says don't be a child molester. So can we change it to gay? Because by the way, I may like little boys, but I ain't gay.
But also, maybe...
Is that a Bud Light?
Maybe we could change it to priests can get married.
There you go.
So we have a problem. We should fix it. Maybe priests should get married.
And since it was translated and never didn't mean gay, if priests are gay, that's fine too.
I've just started reading about this, but that's where I am so far. That the original word was...
Yeah. So it's all bullshit when you look at what these guys do to protect themselves, and it's on a 1-to-1 level with Trump. It's just, I didn't do it. But Chris Christie yesterday, can you bring up what Chris Christie said?
I was just looking at
Chris
it.
Christie unfucking corked.
Speaking
on the Trumps
Chris
and the
Christie,
Kushners.
this episode brought to you by
Donuts.
Fitbod.
Oh, Fitbod. Even better.
And then I'll go back to Chris Christie. I am living with a Fitbod fanatic. I get the commercial every day. He comes in, look, I was about to say he comes in and feels his pecs, and you, without realizing it, we're just doing it.
And you come in and feel my pecs.
You are blown away by the difference. And you said the other day, babe, I walked by the workout room and you go, it knows how to challenge me.
Yep.
I wouldn't use 40s for curls or whatever.
It screwed me yesterday pretty
But
hard.
it knows what I've done before, how many reps I've gotten. So it pushes me more than my trainer ever did. It's like living with a Fitbod commercial all the time.
What I have noticed is, so Fitbot, people get the app. It's with our code, it's less than $70 or whatever. Go get it.
No.
Whatever it is, just figure it out. I will tell you this. My son downloaded it, started going, Dad, I did the body weight leg workout. I couldn't walk the next day. And he's 19. I use it pretty much every day. The calendar keeps me on schedule. It's weird. Because here's the great thing about this. I could lie to my trainer if I had a trainer. I could be like, hey, man, I can't make it this morning. My leg hurts. I have a weird cough.
Yeah.
I can't lie to me.
Yeah.
I know I'm lying.
You're in the house right now.
Yeah. I say something to me and they're like, you're full of shit. Shut up. Quit talking to me like that. Quit talking to that me. So last night, what did I do? I did oh man. And here's the thing.
Can I say this too really quickly?
Just like a trainer.
Used to, your workouts they'd be at random, like sporadic. You would kind of go through phases. You have been so committed to this that
Since
even
November.
if you get home and you finish eating, it's 10 o'clock, he'll be like, I got to go work out. Every day he does this. So you'll be downstairs at 11 o'clock at night working out.
Well, what I've noticed is with Fitbod, and specifically because imagine this, guys. I've worked out my whole life, never really made a difference. Depression made me lose weight in 2006 and 7.
Divorce helps.
Yeah, divorce helped. I lost a lot of weight then. But as she called, what did I have? What were my arms?
Noodles.
She called them noodles.
Angel hair.
And now cold cut combo.
Cold cut combos.
So what happened was that I would, I'd work out. I'd go through like you said, phases. I'd work out really hard for a month and a half, and then nothing would really change, and I'd stop, let up, and I'd go on the hooch. Fitbod, I've done it since November. I have not.
Is it just November 2022?
Since November, yeah, just since November. 6 months.
Oh, wow.
You've seen a change, right?
Yeah, it seems. I thought it was longer.
Nope. So
Fitbod creates customized workouts, so it does use AI, and it does help you build on your last thing. So that's why it's pushing him, where he's like, "No, I can't use that weight," and it's like, "Yeah, you can." I was just on their website. They now have they've added pregnancy safe exercises. They have now added one of my all-time favorite kick your ass workouts. They've added plyometrics. Have you seen that yet?
Oh, I got it down. Oh, good. I've been asking for that. Am I going to need it? Because it was giving me all weights and it was giving me a really good cardio stuff. So I would go through, here's what you can do. You go through the list of workouts, and I started building my own cardio workout. Burpees. By the
They've added cardio.
Speaking of Satan invented burpees. Man.
I love burpees.
Yeah, I actually love them.
I love them because they work, but at 10 you're like,
How many are you doing? That's a lot.
I do 4 sets of 12.
Yeah, that sucks.
I do commando burpees though.
So it understands your strength training ability, studies your past workouts, and adapts to whatever you have. So if you have no equipment, you put that in. That's fine. He does it on the road, in the hotel all the time.
Body weight work is great.
It tracks, so you don't have to worry about that. So wherever you are in your fitness journey, whether you're just beginning or you're at cold cut combos level, get the most out of every workout with Fitbod. Get 20% off of your subscription at fitbod.me/Titus. That's fitbod.me/Titus. I do think it's like $79.99. You get 20% off of that. That's for the whole year. And one trainer session is anywhere from $80 to $150.
It has made me, besides getting shape, it has made me a more disciplined, better person, because there's a calendar. It tracks your workouts per week. It says how many do you want. You can go strength, you can go bodybuilding or just strength training. You can go, there's a whole, you got to see it, guys. And then so say you want to work. So I have a schedule that I set up every week. I go to it'll do all body. It'll do a complete workout for you, which tonight I'm going to do that. I'll do body weight tonight. Because I've been doing weights the last 2 days. But if you go in and you just pick, let's say you just want to do chest and buys, and then you hit that, it'll go, give you 10 exercises depending on what you pick. It's honestly, I have never been happier with any system than this, except for P90X. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
but you needed a DVD player, and they don't make those anymore.
P90X was revolutionary. Yep. That was crazy. So Christie said about Trump yesterday that he is a lonely, self-consumed, self-serving mirror hog.
Mirror hog.
All right.
So did you see
he said way more than that.
Somebody today put out an ad of making fun of Christie's weight. Was it DeSantis or Trump? Where they very poorly put a pizza or something in his hand while he was talking. It's so shitty. Of course. Okay, his weight. Okay.
Have they seen Trump?
Yeah, this is what I don't get.
Even from Ron DeSantis,
I was just going to say, Ron DeSantis has really...
Not really.
He's not using Fitbod. None of them are using Fitbod.
He doesn't even have a 1-pack.
Trump, of course. responds to Chris Christie attacks with fat jokes. Donald Trump.
Fat Trump made fat jokes about Chris Christie.
He put on True Social, in a penis joke. How many times did Chris Christie use the word small? Does he have a psychological problem with size? In all caps. Also, actually, his speech was small, all caps, and not very good. It rambled all over the place, and nobody had a clue of what he was talking about. Hard to watch, boring, but that's what you get from a failed governor, New Jersey, who left office with 7% approval rating and then got run out of New Hampshire.
So this is how you know that Trump is actually rattled.
Yeah,
because his zingers are shit.
Then he posted...
he's the worst roast battle guy ever.
Then he posted a picture of Christie where he put him in front of a buffet table instead of with people.
From the guy who had, McDonald's as the
delivered
catering
to like the Super Bowl team. It was like so. Here's the thing about Trump, and that what he doesn't quite get about Christie. Christie's going to clown him for the entire next 2 years.
Well, that was what I used to love about Christie,
and he'll make his own jokes
that
about how
he
fat
was
he is.
Funny, yes.
Remember
he would go on
you
the
can't fight a
Tonight
guy.
Show,
Right?
And he was funny.
You can't go up against a dude that's willing to make fun of himself.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's Eminem and 8 Mile. It's the last scene in 8 Mile.
He said, "Let me be clear in case I have not been already." Christie said this. The person I'm talking about, who's obsessed with a mirror, who never admits a mistake, never admits fault, who always finds someone else and something else to blame for whatever goes wrong, but finds every reason to take credit for anything that goes right, is Donald Trump.
What did he say about Jared and Ivanka? He went off.
Oh, he brought up them taking $2 billion from Saudi, which nobody's mentioned.
What was interesting, I watched it, because we were going to talk about it. I watched it, and you watch the people, because he obviously had a friendly audience of Republicans, and they have this look on their face like, we're not used to this. We're not used to a dude. We're not used to a dude saying what's going on. And they would giggle. They were like, he would go, he when he was going after Trump, he go, and he stopped and got in one guy's face. He's like, $2 billion. They took $2 billion 3 months after they left the White House. That's your money. He goes, Donald Trump made us a banana republic. And I'm like, what is going on?
Any Republican now who wants to go after Trump can just reach into anything the Democrats have been saying for the past 6 years and just reiterate it.
Well,
which is the strangest thing to hear this.
I think they all know. You got to remember, these guys, all these people that are already in politics, Chris Christie knows people on the inside. Everybody knows that there's a lot of inside information going on. Mm-hmm. We're about to see a former president get indicted. That's if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I want to point out to everybody, we've been talking this shit for 5-6 years now, and we've been right every single time. Everything we said Trump was doing, he did. Every time we said he was gonna, I remember at the beginning we said he'll impose martial law. He tried to do it, and Pence saved our ass. Everything that I said and you said was gonna happen, and you said that he did. So I just want to point out that we were way ahead of the game.
All those Armageddon updates that we were just hammering, and we went to extremes to try to make a point, and then it turns out that was the reality.
We weren't even, sometimes we didn't scratch the surface.
We were
like, oh, we missed it.
We just pointed to it.
Yeah, so we were right. We've been right for 6 years now. I think he's going to get arrested. He's already saying fight. He's telling people to fight. He put out a commercial with Mueller. It was Mueller, Jack Smith, the Bragg, and who else? There was one more. Was it Comey?
Yes.
It was Comey.
Yes.
And this commercial, and the camera goes through these pictures, and he's going to get those guys killed. That's the problem, is that, again, Trump supporters aren't the most thoughtful people. They're not like, you know what, did he do it? Because if he did a crime, he should get arrested.
Yeah.
They don't remember that he said, if you plead the fifth, you're guilty, which he pleaded 400 times within the last year. Mm-hmm. So we are now at a place where the reason that
I'm gonna take an allergy pill. Sorry.
The reason
my nose is running.
The reason they're actually sneaking out this information is to calm,
to
calm the morons.
Yeah.
It's
the rubes.
Use the word Q. Quell.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Wow.
I thought to
quell the Qs.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, did John F. Kennedy Jr. come back? You dumb motherfuckers! Mm-hmm. I'm so upset with people that like we have a whole bunch of people that think that the government was going to inject a chip into you, that basically John F. Kennedy Jr. was coming back,
Who was a Democrat?
Well, here's how done they are, because
we keep bringing it up. I just can't. I know I've said it before, but holy shit, how stupid are we?
well, these people that were elected, this small Freedom Caucus group of people, now today for the second straight day are holding the House floor hostage and refusing to let any bills move forward. They've blocked several bills that are GOP backed from moving forward in protest of Kevin McCarthy's deal he struck with President Biden, and didn't let our country default.
Who is this? Like
Oh, wait,
Gates?
wait.
And
Here's
is
the-
that this crew?
Here's how inept
Over-
they are.
Uh-huh.
That deal's already been signed by Biden. It's over.
They're protesting now by stopping
So
any
they-
legislation moving forward.
So
on
they
the floor.
wanted us to default. They wanted the
Yes.
economy to crash. They wanted it. The reason that so here's what
Patriots.
happened. Patriots. Freedom.
Gates tweeted.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Gates tweeted, "House leadership couldn't hold the line. Now we hold the floor." And Boebert tweeted back in all caps, "Hold the floor." So great job, guys, getting these
Well,
idiots.
I mean, hold the floor. She was an escort, so she held the floor on her back a lot.
Boom. This is another spot for cold cut combo. I feel like.
Combo. Press
So-
Licht is out at CNN.
Thank
Bye-bye.
God.
Oh.
So we have this guy.
Bye-bye.
So CNN at one point, you had Chris Cuomo, who I miss. Honestly, I have to admit,
Me
man.
too.
Don Lemon was fine. He annoyed you sometimes,
He
but
annoyed the crap out of me.
yeah.
I don't think you should deliver the news like this. Come on, just say it faster.
So
Give me the
dramatic.
news and
Come
go
on,
I
man.
can't take it. I can't
So-
take it.
Chris Licht came in for this new guy that bought CNN, this right winger, and I get from what we gather, the Atlantic was it the Atlantic or Vanity Fair? One of them did an article on him, interviewed 100 CNN employees, and they all basically said he's the worst manager ever. There's a thing called the Peter Principle. You eventually get promoted to a level where you're an incompetent, because he ran Stephen Colbert's show, which is a comedy show and stuff, and the show was the #1 show on television for late night. And then they gave him CNN, which is the opposite. It's a news show.
Yeah, it's
And-
not the sarcastic version of.
He's got and I guess he pissed everybody off. Everybody hated him. They said morale was zero. The ratings dropped in half. The revenue dropped in half. And now he's gone. So we'll see what happens. But CNN, it was working. It was fine. It was a good balance.
It was fine.
It was a good balance between fucking crazy Fox and crazy MSNBC. You know, at least the thing with MSNBC, again, people go look at the ratings. They'll actually fact check all the news stations. If you'll check it, Fox is less than 17% truthful. CNN at the time was 73% truthful, and MSNBC was like 63% truthful. 17 is a lot different from 63.
Yeah.
So you always gotta question and research yourself, but I'm glad he's out, because he really fucked it up. He really fucked it up.
This episode brought to you by Harry's. Harry's
Yay!
Razors.
By the way,
Harry's has, we did an ad last night in bed too. It sounds weird, but he got in bed
See what I mean by third wheel weirdness?
and said, I know I always say this, but feel my face. I just shaved.
I didn't know we're doing Harry
Not
today
that
either.
way.
Yeah, no, he did. And it's the only razor ever, legs too, that you go like that and there's no
Both ways.
stubble.
The other direction.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. They have a new razor. It's called the Craft Handle. I got one.
I feel
It is
younger.
Super sweet.
Super sweet.
Super sweet. It comes in this really cool tin too now. It's kind of a vintagey looking. If you're a Harry's fanatic like we are, you have
Wait,
to
you got a
add
new
this
one? You
one.
didn't even show it to me.
Correct.
You creep.
It also has a like dotted rubber handle now.
Oh, that's the new grippy, and you
Mm.
stole it.
Steers.
Thanks, Harry's.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Whichever way that goes. It's like they took Harry's and then bumped it up yet again. Still comes with the German engineered blades.
5 blades,
Killer new look.
own factory.
Super sweet.
What are you, Flavor Flav? You're just
Yo, boy, Harry's 5 blades.
It's more contoured. It's like more balanced.
Fits in
when
your hand.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. You can get the whole starter set for $10.
Try to beat that.
big fit bod clock.
Starts at
A sawbuck.
valued at $17.
What?
You can get the whole thing Comes with the cartridge, the razor cartridge.
dude.
It
And
comes
Tommy.
with the handle. It comes
Handle blades.
with the shaving gel
Gel.
and travel cover.
What? You going somewhere? We got you.
Plus, you can schedule replacement blade delivery like I have so that it comes whenever you think you need it.
You
for
don't even have to ask.
as low as $2. They're gonna call.
By the
Rachel,
way, okay, so I think Harry's was our first advertiser, right? Really? If you
I
go
think
back.
it's
Yeah,
the
so by
first
now.
one I
So
remember.
at one point, how do we continue to make it fun? I still use it every day. I use the body wash. I use the hair gel. I use the soap. I use
we have the
shampoo.
hairspray, the mousse.
I have 3 different kinds of shampoo.
So you have 3 different kinds of body wash. I want to take a picture of your. So we have the caddy thing that hangs on the faucet. Andy's got his own shelf.
Mm-hmm.
He has so many Harry's products that he puts them also on the shower seat area because this is full, that's full. He has.
It's too many. And then if you open my cabinet,
Yes, there is
under the sink.
They're in all
The
the
hair
toolboxes in
paste.
here.
It's
They're
a lot.
fucking everywhere.
It's a lot. He uses it a lot. And got my sister. My sister has short, platinum, spiky hair. He got her hooked. He's like, because they have the same hair.
We
He
both
was
had a
like,
problem
You got to
finding the
try
right
this.
hair gel, and then and when I found Harry's, I was like, oh.
So now she's hooked on it. But when we saw her, she was like, I can't find it online, man. I can't. They're sold out. And he was like, oh, here's what you got to do. Go to
I
Target.
think I gave her one. I had 7 of them.
Yeah,
At one point.
yeah.
I was like,
I got you covered. Let me see. So we do a lot of smuggling, Harry smuggling.
I got it in my jacket.
Try all their products because I use their products. I have
use
yet
the
to
use the
find
body
something
lotion,
that
too.
I don't like.
Yeah,
I like the
body lotion.
peppermint face
Yep.
scrub stuff too. People that use it will tell you the 8th shave is as sharp as the first. That is no lie. And they still give you a no risk trial. So if you don't like it, it's on them. You can send it back.
they ain't gonna pay for it.
Elevate your shave with the latest and greatest in our favorite company, Harry's razor handle lineup today. Get your $17 craft handle starter set, all that stuff for just $10 at harrys.com/bombshell. That's harrys.com/BOMBSHELL.
Face the day, boy.
Then fight the power with Harry's.
You got me started on something.
Yeah.
It's never good to get me started on something. I think that Chris Christie's actually being paid. He's getting campaign donations. I think they had a meeting. I think the GOP had a meeting, and they're like, "Who's willing to take the bullet?" And Christie was like, "This guy fucked me. I'm doing it." And Christie,
Do you know what blows my mind? So Mike Pence came out and announced and did a
Today?
speech and said that Trump. All he said was what he said before, that Trump was reckless with his speech on January 6th, and it endangered his
all he said?
family.
That's all he said?
Hitler was mildly reckless.
He is now all the MAGA people, all the news people, the Fox, everyone. He's been called backstabbing Judas, traitor, unfit.
Since the speech.
Unfit, yes, because he spoke against Trump. How dare he? Unfit. This guy, their guy was calling for him to be hanged.
Yeah.
And wouldn't tell people when
If
they
he
were
doesn't do what
announcing
we
they want to
say,
hang
I'm
him.
not going to like him very much.
He
Wink.
wouldn't call them off, but he's unfit. Your guy has all of these cases against him. Some have already been indicted.
He just
The
But
most
he's
unfit
unfit.
person for anything.
He lost a civil case where he raped a girl in a dressing room.
Yeah.
So and all that unfit. Let's compare them. Let's do because I'm not a big fan of Mike Pence. By the way, anybody who won't have dinner unless his wife is there is weird. It's just a little weird. His mommy,
Mother.
he calls her mother. By the way, that being said, he was in the basement during January 6th. They said, "Get in the car. We'll get you safed out." And he was like, "I don't know the guy driving that car.
Yeah.
I'm not getting in the
Good
car."
for him.
That shows some balls at
Yeah.
least.
It also shows what he thought of Trump.
Exactly what he thought was going down, and certain parts of the Secret Service. That's weird and that's when we heard that Jack Smith was interviewing the Secret Service. The grand jury was hearing testimony from the Secret Service, like 50 different agents. You said that scares me a little bit because that means there could be internal stuff that's going on. Also, that if certain Secret Services who really had the best
Interest of the country.
interest of the country. Thank you. How'd you know I was thinking that?
Because I'm in your brain.
Best
man.
interest of the country. And if they go, if these guys were on Trump's team, we can lose Secret Service agents too. I'm sure we already
What's
have.
interesting about the Secret Service as well is, he views them as
his
yeah. And because he was president, they would never, it's private, they could never repeat. So, with them being around him all day, all night, they heard a lot more stuff than anyone else would have. So I find that interesting. Chris Christie's beef, we know, with Kushner family runs deep. He said during his campaign launch that the grift from this family is breathtaking. That was how he started about Kushner. This was right after he called Trump a self-serving mirror hog.
He was like stalking this group. He was in the round, and he was walking around these people talking, and he was just like, and
he's great with people.
He's.
Do you guys remember? Were you here when
he's legit taking him down.
When I was
called him Krispy Kreme?
He was my Krispy Kreme. Were you here during that time?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. That was right before.
I can't remember, but I would do a bit on stage.
You didn't do it in your special, but you were doing it almost
just for fun. I was just doing it.
Yeah,
for fun.
almost up to the special, and he came in right after we filmed the special.
Was it cut? Maybe that was one.
I just did it for a short period of time when Christie was in the news, and I don't even remember what I talked about, but I called him my Krispy Kreme, and I don't know why. Anyway, then he said, Jared Kushner, I liked him because he was willing to make fun of himself.
Yeah.
I would not have voted for him. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But personally, I thought he was funny and interesting, and the Bridgegate thing, you want a little gangster in your leaders, okay.
Yeah,
Jared
Gavin has some gangster in him.
Gavin.
You don't want them to have tattoos on their knuckles.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of.
But
also, he fucked up traffic. That's not cool.
Well, now that
that's a power move, dude.
Now that we sat on the George Washington Bridge at 1 a.m. for 2 hours, I now know how heinous it was that he did it during rush hour, and I probably would have killed him myself. Jared Kushner and Ivanka Kushner walk out of the White House and months later get $2 billion from the Saudis. $2 billion from the Saudis. You think it's because he's some kind of investing genius? Or do you think it's because he was sitting next to the president of the United States for 4 years doing favors for the Saudis?
And they're hearing this is like, they did what?
That's what he said.
Like new to them.
Yeah, totally.
Because we're libtards.
Yeah,
we say it, but when Christie says it, they're like, this guy's from New Jersey, he was a governor, and we know he's half a criminal anyway, and he's calling him out. But Christie doesn't care. I think, and Christie knows that he has no chance of winning. But I will say this. What if someone went, all right, listen, the GOP is going to take care of you, but you're going to be the one to take all the bullets for Trump. You're going to take him down. Because because Romney tried, but Romney's such a milquetoast white bread. He remember that speech he gave, and all it did was tear up Mitt Romney. No one took him seriously. Christie will step up to anybody. He doesn't care. He'll just keep coming.
Well, and maybe it's like you said, maybe the GOP is turning finally and going, you know what? This guy's he's going down anyway.
But they need someone to take the hit to dismantle him, and Christie doesn't care.
So Christie took down, what's his face? Kushner's father, Charles Kushner. He was the U.S. attorney in New Jersey. He investigated and successfully prosecuted Charles Kushner, who pled guilty to 16 counts of assisting in filing of false tax returns, 1 count of retaliating against a cooperating witness, and we heard something
very
else.
Jersey,
and 1 count of making false statements to the FEC. My uncle Philip, who's lived in New York for many years, had an inside story about the Kushner father. Crime.
But it did follow the same
Absolutely.
thing. That he was like,
but he pled guilty.
Really?
So Christie said in his memoir, let me finish, that his successful prosecution of Charles Kushner is what led to Jared firing him from the top spot of the transition team. He said, Mr. Kushner pled guilty. He admitted the crime. What am I supposed to do as a prosecutor? So anyway, I guess he was mad.
Yeah, maybe you should call your dad. Maybe on Thanksgiving you should say, Dad, what'd you do? Why'd you say yes? You did it.
This is what he did. Ready? This is such a nice family. That's such a nice family. This is Christie's quote. If a guy hires a prostitute to seduce his brother-in-law and videotapes it, stay with me, and then sends the videotape to his sister in an attempt to intimidate her from testifying before a grand jury, do I really need any more justification than that? This is what Charles Kushner did. It's one of the most loathsome, disgusting crimes I prosecuted in my time as a U.S. attorney, and I was a U.S. attorney in New Jersey.
That's what I. That's what we love about
self-deprecating.
Christie.
Uh-huh.
That's what we love about Christie.
But it
So
also-
he hired a prostitute to seduce his sister's brother,
Hold on.
videoed it.
wait. Hold on
Hold on
wait,
a second.
Yeah.
Sister's brother.
Oh,
So
okay.
his
Okay.
Sister's brother.
Right.
Okay.
This is you hiring a prostitute
Right.
to seduce Shannon's husband,
Okay, Stefan, got it.
videoing it,
Right.
then sending it to Shannon to intimidate her from testifying against you at the grand jury.
It's
I
not
don't
the best
think it's the
plan.
best
It's not
plan.
the best plan.
I would be more mad that you did that, right?
Like,
wouldn't
wouldn't you be? Yeah, you would be mad at me for cheating on you. You'd be like, "Thanks for sending me the videotape. I'm getting divorced now." What? I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, how's this intimidating
That's
me?
a really weird.
Unless it's you're going to
So-
release the video thing, and that's embarrassing,
Embarrassing
from
to
my
the
family.
family.
You know, your nieces and
we don't
nephews.
live in that world. Like, you got to remember, Jared Kushner's dad. I mean, these are billionaires. These are. I mean, that just
Trump
that
pardoned Charles Kushner, by the way.
right. That building they own, 666 whatever, is like. I mean, by the way, do you know that he needed money from Qatar? Here's the shit Kushner did while he was in the White House working. Where, by the way, Hunter Biden never did. Jared Kushner, basically, we cut off help to Qatar because Qatar refused to loan him the money to save that building, 666. So we cut off weapons and help to Qatar. So Saudi, because that's what Saudi wanted.
Mhm.
So I wonder why Saudi would kick in $2 billion when they left. That's odd, especially after the Saudi Minister of Finance said,
"Don't do that.
"This guy's crazy. Don't
Yeah.
even know what he's doing."
He's not qualified to
Not at all.
receive this money."
Repeatedly told
This
MBS.
episode also brought to you by ButcherBox, another favorite company.
Yay!
ButcherBox has helped turn us into elderly people because
No, I feel younger and more happy.
it was one of my grandma's favorite things that we did, that we had a garage freezer. Every time I'd say it, she'd say, because she loved that we
Yep.
were old, because
We're
grandma
not old!
had a garage freezer. Well,
It's
you know,
smart. It's not old.
I know, but I guess
Yeah, but you have to get old to get
wisdom
wise. enough to have
comes-
it.
Well, yeah.
True.
My
And
daughter didn't know that you can go to
That
a
they existed?
supermarket and pick up a rotisserie chicken.
a whole chicken.
I
She
bought her.
couldn't-
I dropped her. She was sick.
had
I
no
dropped off
idea.
a rotisserie chicken and some soup. She's like, "My dad brought me a whole rotisserie chicken." Yeah, there's 1,000 of them at every supermarket.
very cheap too.
Yeah.
So ButcherBox, you can get whole chickens from them. We have a couple of those in our freezer. I should make that tomorrow. Oh, I got a great recipe for a baked chicken.
Yep.
I could give you guys. You take the whole chicken.
Right.
I get it from ButcherBox, organic. You defrost it, obviously. Then you, in a bowl, get olive oil and crushed garlic and whatever seasonings you like. Whether it's, I like herbes de Provence and Tony's Cajun or whatever. And then you mix that up until it's almost like a paste. And then you put on gloves and put it on, just make cuts in the skin, put it underneath the skin, and put it in a pan, roasting pan. Carrots, onion, celery. You can do potatoes if you like potatoes. Put foil over it, and then put it at like 240,
Oil keeps
250.
it moist, right?
Very low. Yeah,
That's a lot
don't
of
say
steps.
that word. No, it literally takes 10
Succulent?
minutes total. Put it in at 250.
10 minutes for the whole chicken.
to prep it.
Oh.
Then you just put it in and leave it. And because it's slow roasting, it is insane.
So, dude, she's done this. It actually, you grab a bone, it just falls
Falls
off
apart.
The bone. It's amazing.
So you just check it like 6 hours later. And when the drumstick moves loosely, like it's going to fall out, it's
Not
ready.
by itself.
Take
You
the,
have to. Yeah.
take,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
like-
Take
it's
the
like, I'm
foil
done.
out.
Hey,
I'm ready.
everybody.
It's more that. 'Cause
Yeah, it's the Trump
Kicking,
dance.
though. It's kicking.
It's the Trump dance.
then you
I'm totally cool now.
take the foil off for
Right.
like 10 minutes so it browns on top. Then it's done. Then you have an entire meal with vegetables, everything.
And every piece
it's
of-
insane.
Every piece of ButcherBox meat we have, even, and I wasn't a big pork fan, but the stuff they give us, the stuff that ButcherBox sends us in the box, man, every time we have it is so good.
It's excellent, clean taste.
Yep.
You can get seafood. They have awesome seafood. They have wild caught, all seafood. Wild caught pork is raised crate free, 100% grass fed beef, and free range organic chicken. They've got some fun new things too, like sausage and meatballs and chicken tenders. You just got to go look. It's changing all the time. All of it's humanely raised, no antibiotics or added hormones, which I think is why we notice such a difference in it. Don't you love the chicken? The chicken,
I don't know why it's like it's just does taste like
steak too.
The texture of it too. Oh, the steak is really good too.
Do you know what it is? I think we eat at fast food places sometimes, and like Taco Bell. It says on the box, "Okay for human consumption." Okay, okay.
That's the official.
Then when you get like high quality meat, you're like, "This is awesome."
That's because we're so used to garbage, and then we eat it clean.
Yes, and it feels like such a no-brainer because it gets delivered to your house based on how you want it, what you want in it. You can choose that, and it's cheaper by a long shot.
Yep.
So you're getting better quality for less price. So ButcherBox is giving us a special deal. I love this one. Sign up today using code Titus and you can receive ground beef for a whole year and $20 off your first order. That means you get 2 pounds of ground beef for free in every box for a year, plus $20 off your first order when you sign up at butcherbox.com/Titus and use promo code Titus.
It's barbecue season.
Promo code Titus.
Time to get that grill cooking.
Speaking of flavor.
It actually is.
I actually am Flavor Flav in this situation.
Flavor.
Yes.
This is, it's barbecue season. Although in California, thanks to climate change, it's been in the 50s, overcast and windy.
It's the weirdest year.
Our
how long have you
sinuses
been
are
here?
going crazy.
20 years.
It's the weirdest.
It's the weirdest. Yeah. It's cold
weird,
in the morning. Like I have to like bundle like.
It's June.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And I'm still wearing a ski cap.
Yeah.
This happened. I remember my aunt used to talk about June gloom, but that was in the 90s. In the 90s, and we haven't had this in long. I mean, geez, 20 years. It's
My friend Mahogany came over on Monday to have lunch.
Moto.
And she wanted to sit outside. I put on 2 shirts, a sweatshirt, boots, and he had to light the fire outside for us to, and I was still freezing.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. This is California.
Yeah.
And Canada's on fire.
And Canada is on fire so much it's blowing smoke into New York right now. New York looks like we even at our worst fire days. Have you seen the pictures of New York?
No.
Even our worst fire days in California, it didn't look like what New York looks like today. It's crazy. Wow. It's crazy. So I think Chris Christie is basically a bullet taker. He's gonna dismantle Trump. What they need. It's also helpful to the Democrats. It's also helpful to any kind of damage or attack that's going to happen once they indict Trump. Because now that Christie's out, because I would 100% even think that Biden would go, hey man, if you're going to do this, you're a good enough guy, but we do need this guy taken down. So when he does get taken down for crimes he committed against the country, then we don't have a lot of violence.
It does track though, because it's like you said, that Chris Christie he's from that world. He's a New Jersey, New York guy.
You're not going to take any shit, yeah.
Who it's kind of like, and so is Trump. He's a New York guy. And people hearing it from Chris Christie, it carries a little bit of little extra gravitas.
Yeah. Especially because he was he can go, I worked with him.
Yeah, right.
I worked with him for 4 years.
Exactly.
I knew him. You're kidding me? The guy's a douche.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay. One more thing I want to say about DeSantis before we go, because I did the Armageddon update kind of on it. For a guy who claims freedom and says he's anti-woke, this is the same guy who has basically passed legislation against trans kids to play sports. By the way, to be clear, they did a study. I looked it up. There's maybe 100 high school trans athletes in the entire country. Maybe. They couldn't find him. He's actually today it just got pulled out, or yesterday got pulled that all that you can't do gender affirming surgeries or drugs to kids. That got knocked down. That
whole mandatory check of children.
Yeah, who's grooming who?
Yeah,
exactly.
You want to be able to
touch my child.
Look, take my kid into any examining room in school and you look at his genitals. We're going to have a problem, right? So he wanted to do that. Bans books like crazy. Doesn't want to teach, is banning history, claiming it's CRT, which is only a college level course. And then he talks about freedom.
He's also invading Poland.
But they're saying that but they're saying that we Democrats are bringing communism to.
And beer
if you're feeling this stressed as I am about what's going on in the world today, you need to try Next Evo Naturals. This episode brought to you by Next Evo. I love this product because of the method of delivery that you can choose. It is CBD. It helps with stress, feeling anxious, if you have trouble sleeping, all the things we have now.
You can choose the delivery. I get shot in the neck with a dart.
Better absorption, fast acting.
Blow dart, yeah.
I love it. It helps me sleep.
Yep.
It helps when I'm feeling stressed about travel. Method of delivery, because you can get them in gummy chews.
It helps her to sleep before travel. We're getting the day before we get on a plane is one of the most stressful, horrific. And she takes this and she can at least get some. You can get some hours before we get on. I
get some hours. It's premium pure CBD it's 4 times better absorbing than other
4 times better
type of CBD that you can get. It's THC. It's gluten free. It's a great product.
Ain't nothing gonna make you crazy in it.
And I'm going to kill you.
It doesn't quite go with the Next Evo, but
you can get. Here's what I like about it. And you can go on their website if you have any questions about it. They've got all kinds of help for questions that you have. You can get capsules. You can get gummies. My favorite. You can get, they have bundles. They have edibles, just CBD. They have a cream. They've got the dissolvable powder that I put in our smoothies
feel like
in the morning.
Like a treat too, though.
You get this bag, and it is packed full of these little tear-off packets. You just put it in the smoothie. You can't taste it. It dissolves in liquid. That's what I like. That you can get different methods of delivery. When I'm trying to eat better, the gummies at night when I'm really craving sugar, I'll eat 2 of those before bed, and it feels like I've had
it's a calm dessert.
A little bit of a treat.
Dessert calming is what it is.
They have the stress CBD complex gummies. They have, and then you can get sleep support CBD. Those are my favorite. They're kind of grapey, fruity tasting.
Yep. I like them a lot.
Anyway, so just go to their website because there's so many different things that would fit anyone. They also have ashwagandha on there, which is a big help too. It just helps me not long after having them. It just sort of quiets all that noise.
And if
inside.
it helps her, it
Shut
helps
up.
me.
You're such a ding dong. So
he's nodding too.
So this company also, they did 4 different clinical trials to make sure that this product absorbs. It's 4 times better than other products.
4 whole times.
They also have. So try. I'm done. I don't even know what. I don't know. You do this.
It's great stuff. I take it. I go every night when I get home. I go into our little pantry and the thing's right there. And I pop one of the gummies and I'm good.
Are you taking the gummies or the capsules that are in there?
It depends. I switch back and forth.
Steer gummies are
because I always go. I do hot tub and then I do a cold plunge in the pool. It's not really a cold plunge, but it does freak me out. And so I sit there in the hot tub and I get chilled, and then I get in the pool and I get chilled.
You have like a little Iceland in the back of you.
I would recommend trying the Stress CBD complex gummies. Super awesome. Clinically proven to reduce stress up to 70%. You don't need a prescription for this.
Clinically proven!
Which is awesome. And triple action CBD sleep, which I love. It just calms your mind. It's fast absorbing and
go night night.
It's fast acting and controlled release melatonin, help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and you wake up feeling better because you slept. So leave summer stress behind. Upgrade your CBD. Go to nextevo.com/Titus to get 20% off your first order of $40 or more. That's 20% off $40 or more at nextevo.com/Titus.
Bye-bye, stress.
Get those gummies. Those are good.
Just add "blee" at the end of every.
It's very annoying.
You started it.
I will say.
By the way, Chuck D was annoyed all the time. He's like, man.
Shannon Doherty's cancer is spread to her brain.
Oh
no.
Yeah, that was definitely 90210. That was my high school generation.
She actually did she was like doing good stuff too.
I like to see what's going on in the world. A customer at an Olive Garden in Indiana went up to the manager and asked for a server that isn't black, and the manager complied. Evansville, Indiana, Saturday dinner.
When did we get like there was a time not long ago when that would have been uncalled for and unacceptable. No one would even, now wouldn't be. Trump made it's okay to be racist now.
Yeah.
The woman was with other people, including 2 children, said to the hostess, made comments about her coworkers concerning her race and said that I should work at a strip club instead. She asked me if I'm even really black and if I am from here. Then she got seated at a table with a black server and she got furious, loudly started asking for a server who wasn't black, and the manager did it.
Now, who's grooming? Who's grooming who now?
I would get
That's
the
what I
fucking
mean.
guy.
It's
if I'm the
also-
manager, I'm like, up, you're out.
Why wouldn't you kick that person out?
Why would you make it
Protect your
okay?
employees, right? It's disgusting, man. There are also experts are concerned that we're dangerously close to a nuclear war. The blowing of the dam at the Kakhovka
happened yesterday. You see
hydroelectric
that?
power
Brutal.
plant by Russian state is an act of terror.
Yeah.
So
That's an IKEA table.
But the problem is, did you see what happened? So the Russians blew it at 3 a.m. in the morning and didn't really check who was downstream of it. And a bunch of Russians got taken
No
out.
shit.
It took a whole bunch of Russians
So
out.
his Air Force is stuck in hangars now. His army is failing. And so
Putin's army.
Yes,
Yep.
sorry, Putin. Yeah.
Could they just text each other that, hey, we're going to...
Hey
How
guys,
did you...
we're going to blow the dam. You guys should move.
Exactly.
Can you move?
And
they're like,
smiley
the
face
truck
emoji.
doesn't work. Have you seen the news? The trucks don't work.
3 poop emojis.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a...
And then the fast
yeah,
running.
The Russian emojis.
And Tyler, in the midst of all of this horror and nightmare, Taylor Swift has just purchased a private island that cost her $17.75 million. Just thought you
darn.
guys would like to know what other people are doing right now.
Meanwhile, in Taylorville...
She's just going to keep boyfriends on it.
Yeah.
To write songs.
Good for her.
Yeah.
She should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you shame her for that?
She's running the world right now. She's really, and she kept. And
I like to think Beyonce is running the world, but that's just me.
That would be a great ticket, right?
She's
Presidential.
But every star has
Beyonce
has
and
these
Taylor
peaks
Swift.
and valleys. Prince had them. Every Springsteen is having another one, and she's at one right now. Beyonce's going to have her next one too, and she's doing But
Man, I was jamming Springsteen in the shower yesterday. His new album, If
Letters to
I
You?
Was a Priest. Yeah, the album is Letters to You. But one of my Peloton rides, one of the instructors, Jen Sherman, is diehard. And I like her rides.
we're all
And-
just thinking of you in the shower right now.
Shut up. And so she, during the ride, she's die hard. Like she's already been 6 or 7 times on this tour. And she's crying. She starts crying during
On the
this.
Peloton ride.
And she had been at his concert the night before, so she was hungover. So she kept saying she could smell tequila coming out of her pores. That's
was
why I
sweat.
like her.
She was sweating
She's
out of her
very
eyes.
honest. She cried. And so anyway, I went and downloaded that song and just fell in love with it. I just think it's such a dude never stops. Never stops. And Nils Lofgren has his new album out.
Nils Lofgren, who's touring with the
Who
E
is a
Street Band,
badass.
that E Street Band. I'll say it again. Every time I see clips online of what they're playing currently, Springsteen's 72, 73 now. They're still the tightest. Springsteen moves and the band, bam, just stop. It's like it's
Age
James-
has not made them slow down or get
No.
worse or
Although
loose.
Springsteen was walking up this riser and he tripped.
Yeah,
Anybody
you
can
told
do
us
that, but he
this.
wasn't
Love that.
last week. But it was very funny. I just love his sense of humor.
I don't think it's because he's old. I think
no,
it's,
anybody who's trying to run around.
it was
the stage-
bound to happen.
Yeah.
The way, if you've ever seen him in concert, he runs at full speed while he's holding a guitar and singing. He might jump into the crowd and crowd surf sometimes.
And a lot of times, especially in music, there's on the stage, there's cables taped to the
Yeah.
stage
also,
that you can,
they
they're
set
black
it
and you
up-
can't see them.
Steps,
Yeah.
They
and
set
it's
it up that
black.
night so the steps aren't exactly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And now it's time for Highlanders Fun Facts. Highlanders Fun Facts. It's Highlanders Fun Facts. I don't even know where we're going with this. We got to practice. Next time we'll practice.
We had a hook last week, and then
We almost had it.
Where'd it go?
It's Highlanders Fun Facts. It's Highlanders Fun Facts. It's Highlanders Fun Facts.
Flavor Flav, go.
Yo, man, here's some facts for everybody.
Boy!
there you go. Speaking of
Speaking of, I forgot what we're speaking of.
Speaking of, yeah. Before
do you have a list?
the show, yes.
Cut combos?
So you're picking one now. You just
Yeah, I'm picking one. I'm literally picking one in real time. It's live. Before the show Friends, Jennifer Aniston was almost a Saturday Night Live cast member.
Wow.
But she turned down the role because she heard that the environment at SNL was not good toward women.
I
Yikes.
can't
For many years, that
really
was true.
see her
Yeah.
being, and because she's
let,
not
like
funny.
She is funny. I think she's funny.
she's fantastic. She's really funny.
She's not
Horrible
like-
Bosses. That movie Horrible Bosses. She was really funny.
She's very good at comedic acting.
Yes.
I don't mean that. She's a great actress. She's beautiful, but she doesn't have that super freedom with funny. You know what I mean? Like she's always very aware of how she looks.
Who was in Bridesmaids? Who wrote Bridesmaids?
Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig. You wouldn't put her in Kristen Wiig's category.
Kristen Wiig is next level. That is that scene on the airplane in
When
Bridesmaids
she's-
continues to be one of my all-time favorite scenes in a movie ever. Melissa McCarthy, out of her mind. I mean, I just
So
don't.
good.
It's not that to me.
Melissa McCarthy is a once in a generation comedian.
True.
She's
Her
a
husband
once-
too.
Yeah,
But then again, who knows? You know, at the time, she
Maybe.
might have came into that role.
Yeah.
And
also at the time, as that was before Friends, she wasn't Jennifer Aniston yet. You'll take anything. You'd be like, oh my god, I get to be on set. And I find it odd to believe that she turned it down. But then again, I've also seen when certain people get some heat and everybody around them in the industry knows that person's going to
So
make
she
it.
knew.
So she knew something was
Yeah.
going to happen, which is a mistake sometimes.
In my mind, I'm like, how could you ever turn that down?
Yeah,
Oh my God, that was- one of Heidi Gardner, who is
She's
huge
really great on it. Yeah.
on that show, and she's great. Lash guy Greg, who we used to talk about all the time, that did my lashes. Now he's a real estate agent doing very well. He employed her at his salon as a hair washer for one of his stylists. And they all thought she was so funny, and she'd do these voices and characters when they were slow and make them laugh. So they bought her a Groupon to the entry level groundlings course. Just to go try.
Yeah.
And now she lives in New York and she's a
Wow.
regular on SNL. That was like
She's-
15 years ago.
She's also like, sometimes when I sound live, over the years, I was singing to Charles Rocket the other day. Charles Rocket was like after the first Saturday Night crew left. There's a whole group of. There's a
was
whole
he a
group of-
writer? That name sounds familiar.
He was a performer on SNL, but there was a couple. There's a couple casts of Saturday Night Live that aren't. I don't know if it's because they weren't great or if the cast before them was so amazing that they just didn't step up. It always seems like there's a great cast and there's one like, oh, these guys aren't that good, and there's another great cast. Well, I think it's because the great cast was like Eddie Murphy and those guys,
Yeah.
and then you had Belushi, and then you had
Chevy
these casts,
Chase and
and then-
Aykroyd.
right?
And,
Jane Curtin, and you had the cast between them that were like not them.
yeah.
So people have to get over it. So there's been a group. Heidi Gardner, every time she's on, she's really funny every time.
Yeah.
Whenever she hits the screen, I'm like,
She's very
I'm like,
funny.
okay, this can be funny. This
I
can be
love
fun.
Kate McKinnon too.
Kate McKinnon.
The Independent has just reported that the DOJ is preparing to ask the Washington, D.C. grand jury to indict former President Donald Trump for violating the Espionage Act and for obstruction of justice as soon as Thursday, which is tomorrow.
Huh.
So it could
So
be
what?
coming very soon.
All right. So criminal justice major, explain to me what happens if they indict him. He doesn't go to jail. He bails out, and then
he becomes
Maybe.
president.
There's a great argument for him being a flight risk.
yeah, he's got his own plane.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And plenty of money and the means to do it, and plenty of help in other countries
Saudi.
like
He's got friends. He's got
Kim Jong-un and Putin and
and
MBS. And yeah, he's got a lot
A
of,
lot of things to flood.
Yep.
He can,
And I would argue that he's a threat to our democracy.
100%. Where he's already shown it. He's already shown it.
So it's tough, man. You put him, I would love to see him in a hearing 2 weeks after he's been in jail, because think about his hair, his tan, all his
He's like
his
those
corset,
golf
his girdle,
photos. Uh-huh.
his little heels. What's he gonna do?
Okay, there's our Bozak doggy solo.
Exactly.
That's what would happen. He would just look.
Our new
And then
podcast.
Kushner-
I told you guys
Little more
about
Star
it.
Wars.
But our new podcast, Knock 'em Dead, is coming out in a couple of weeks, and I got my dream first guest to do it. Somebody I really respect and have read his books several years ago after I lost my mom. So it's going to be about the one thing that we all do but never talk about, die. And we're going to do it together. It's going to be laugh out loud funny, but every episode will deal with some different aspect of death in a very funny way.
Right, like
so this first one is going to be near-death experiences.
I thought it was going to be the rally.
No, this
near-death
is
experience
our
and then the rally.
guest.
But we'll do near-death experience. We'll do the
death rally.
We'll do what happens at death. We'll talk about everything from the death rally. Because the one thing that happened when we lost Grandma was I was there for the last of it, and I have to be honest, it took away some of the fear of death. It really did. And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that you guys, because it's going to happen to all of us. Don't think it's not. Have some ease with it.
And it's just going to be I'm very excited about it. It's going to be very interesting, I think, for me as well. So anyway, be watching for that. Knock 'em Dead coming out soon.
Stay tuned.
What does Rachel Maddow say? Watch this space.
Our next gig, by the way, Nashville. Go to Nashville Zanies. We're going to Nashville Zanies at the end of the month. Carrie Mossers, by the way. I don't know. I'm not going to brag about it. What do you think of the show? It's
absolutely brilliant. It's done. It's ready to be filmed. It's tight. It has a joke every sentence. It is ridiculous, the stuff that he talks about and makes funny as usual. And
you make cancer funny.
Thank you.
This
and
tour
you will love it.
This tour is the darkest tour
you guys can come and see us together if you're in the Southern California area this Saturday, the 10th. The Go campaign is the charity that we're going to be doing this for, selected by Vintage Hollywood to be the charity this year to raise money for homeless and foster kids in the surrounding areas. So June 10th, check that out. Vintage Hollywood this Saturday, the 10th. So Zanies is the 23rd and 24th. And then coming up in July, Omaha Funny Bone, and then Des Moines and Kansas City Improv. So just go to ChristopherTitus.com/tour to see. But there's a lot of good stuff coming up. Cleveland, Birmingham, Huntsville, Springfield. Yeah.
If you guys want to see my new special, the one we just did last year, Zero Side Effects, it's up on YouTube now. Go to Christopher Titus TV. If you want to get any merch, we have a new t-shirt coming out soon. Go to ChristopherTitus.com. If you want to get the Highlanders album, Misanthropics, go to Apple, iTunes,
Spotify. New song. We released a new song.
When?
Last week.
No way.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Is it the one that we just saw?
No, another one. Different one. I didn't want to release that one yet.
Okay.
No, because
right.
So we're still doing it.
Got it. Okay,
we're getting our shit together, and we're gonna film the sketch show in the next 2 weeks.
We are.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. For myself, the lovely Bomb Show, Ray and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
There can be only one.
That was a good timing. Only one.
Yeah, there you go.
Boy called Cod Combo.